Allow the two
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
She
Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mind. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you lie down, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My yegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. My yegun don't come, oh yo yo. My yegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My yegun don't come, oh yo yo. My yegun don't. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary na him be number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Máyégún live. Thank you very much for joining me tonight or this noon. Please read beyond the caption of this broadcast. Read the description as well. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. You know them, your frenemies, and tell them that Máyégún today. And tonight, I'm not here to try to whip the sentimental line, that line of sentiment of, I told you it was a scam. Not really. I am here to call this, you can even call it an update. So when they were bamboozling you, everyone, gaslighting everyone, when this fraud was being celebrated. There's something I want you, my viewers, the members of this temple of truth, there's something I want you to kind of like take notes of, all right? Including those of you who are the Ronukus as well, the Abrodian Yoruba Ponus, who have been, kind of like whipping this tribal, ethnic sentiments in defense of Thiefnubu and others. So you need to understand something here. We are not responsible for the destruction of Nigeria by APC, Egbekegbe. In fact, we are among those who want you to understand what it is, right, that they have stacked against you, the system, so that you can possibly stop wasting your time praying for a place that is deliberately being destroyed, right? So, wishes don't change anything. Action does. And in this case, the actions of the rogues in Nigeria and their inactions, which obviously affects millions, tens of millions of people, because of them. So on Máyégún's diary political, we are not celebrating what some of these Ronukus will call bad news. You know what I mean now? We are actually debunking the social conditioning of, I think they call it a hubris or something, right? A fake kind of like a system that continues to take the lives of the same people that they are supposed to protect. So what that means is this. On Máyégún's diary political, we all know that the criminals in Nigeria spends hundreds of billions of naira just to lie to their people, confuse them, gaslight them, blame them while they are busy pillaging the land. So, Mayegun's diary political is to help you understand that propaganda can build a country. Do you understand? So, if these rogues, for what we know them for, whenever they come out to tell you something, normally, right, it should benefit millions. And that is why you have to prove it. So in the process, you discover that it's all charm, it's all fake, fraud, with hundreds of millions of dollars, borrowed money in most cases, gone down the drain. And then the people that are supposed to actually have the positive benefit, the impact of such idea will continue to wait. And not only that, they will make they will not give them what they promise. They make their lives even worse off than before they made the promise. So on Mayegun's diary political, in a nutshell, it is to help you stop living the Delulu life. Stop blaming yourself for the actions and the inactions of some career criminals. And if you, by any means, join the rest of us who have found closure, and then just waiting for that, that seizable number, size that can indeed dislodge this hegemony. That is why you are here. We are not wishing bad luck on Nigeria. We are not wishing evil on Nigeria, because guess what? We also have families there who are also victims of all these failures, in which we have actually been an indirect victims of a failed Nigeria too, when we have now turned to this, the one that replaced the subsidy that Thiefnubu removed. So do you not understand what it means that if these guys are actually doing the right thing by the people, you will feel it. Nobody needs to pay anybody to campaign to tell you that things are getting better or things are better, except if you don't like us, you'll be the only ones who can feel it. That's not how it works, right? Imagine if your refineries are working for real. Now get the crude oil. Now get the refinery. So you get now. So if you have any subsidy at all, which now you are not paying anybody any subsidy, you can decide, what the price of that, the product that you are producing from your own refineries. They continue to lie to you. On the one hand, when they went to go and borrow this money, $900 million to revive these refineries, right? So they took $900 million. Then people were expecting a refinery there to start working, right? But the same guys spent nearly $1 billion to import finished blended products from Malta. We exposed all of that at that time. It was like, we are not wishing Nigeria well. To the Ronokus, we are celebrating bad news. We are not happy for any good news. What kind of good news is a news that is fake, that is not impactful? That's the point. That's what you should have known. It was like that of the Nigeria Air. The scam, the fraud was so obvious. The majority of the gullible Warri deals at the time, and then the current ones, the Bati deals, they wanted it to be true. You can't just want something to happen and then that's it. When some people are actually working in, in like opposite direction, it doesn't work that way. Oh, you are happy that the refinery is not working. It's because you people don't wish Nigeria well. But do you know the people that really don't wish Nigeria well? The criminals that took $900 million and told you that your refineries will start working, but yet it has no effect on your PMS and what have you, petroleum product consumption in Nigeria. So what kind of reform that will say you now have a refinery, but guess what? Your importation of PMS is almost doubled. You lie to the people that you removed subsidy. They ask you, where is the money? But you lie to them. One day, all of you will believe that they removed subsidy because they put different kind of airhead and then all these ways on social media, on TV, to give you the importance, the advantage of removing subsidy, but yet you couldn't feel the impact at all in any part of Nigeria, any part of the economy. You can't feel anything. Right? That is not wishing Nigeria bad. Telling you what is going on, showing you what is going on. And then the people who have been exposed, they turned around and said, don't listen to him. You know that he doesn't wish Nigeria well. You see all these people, all these Mayegun people, they don't wish Nigeria well. They don't like Thiefnubu. Whether I like Thiefnubu or I don't like Thiefnubu, how does that stop a supposed refurbished refinery from working? And somebody is not in jail right now. So they have now come out to say, well, after 5 months of repeated lies, they now said, okay, the refinery is not working now. How can a refinery that you just finished spending nearly 900 million, nearly $1 billion, to just stop working? Because it never really worked. The pipeline that was supposed to take the crude oil to these refineries, they have been destroyed for more than 6 years now. Out of this, the refinery repair that they are making noise about everywhere, right? No, there is nowhere that they claim that they have actually fixed any of those pipelines that brings crude oil into those refineries. And they said, no, we are not refining. We are not refining crude oil. We are blending some chemicals together that they are now reselling. That means after they import from a blended PMS from Malta, to Nigeria, then they will now take some of them to Portharcourt, take some of them to this Warri, put them inside one big tank to blend them with other chemicals. That means double the content, then load them again and start distributing them. And when you now ask them, if the refinery is working, how come NNPC is more expensive than Dangote? Because Dangote is bringing his own crude oil from America, from Texas. They will begin to abuse you. They will begin to attack you. They'll begin to tell you that it's because you don't see anything good in Nigeria. How can you see good in evil people who are not hiding it? And they're not just evil people because it's an evil person. Or it's, you can see an evil person. This person is a duplicitous person, is an evil person. Then you avoid them. You can't avoid those who are making decisions that affect the lives of millions of people when they are evil. You don't see, how can you see good in people whose actions every day is to scheme on how to rob Nigeria and you, Nigerians? So they gaslight you. They will say it's because, how come you don't see anything good about Nigeria? Why can't you be talking about other? I'm like, what is my business with Davido and the whiskey that be waiting in the call? When tens and hundreds of thousands of people are either displaced or on the run from those who want to kill or kidnap them, or those ones who are far away from where these hot spots of kidnappings are taking place, but still they have been kidnapped by hunger. They have been kidnapped by poor health that they can no longer fund. These are real life people. These are real life things. Children have been caught up in the entire economic doldrum. So if you take action as a government, there's there was supposed to be different between government and politics. You may do politics, the moment you gain power, then you start governance, because your actions would affect lives. You see, when you are in your political party and you are doing all you are, okay, I think that actually does affect, because now from there they start. But the moment you gain power, it's no longer about Christian, Muslim, North, South, what do you call it? tribe this or ethnic that anymore. It's now going to be about people whose everyday life is to be better. And decision to make that happen lies or rests solely on these rogues. And every opportunity given, they will continue to do what? To upend and manipulate the people. Shortchange them. And then when more and more people falls into this set abject poverty caused by greed, right? Then they turn around and say maybe they are not praying enough. Or it's because you are abusing your leaders. That is why good thing can happen in Nigeria. Or it's because every time, all of you are always, everything everybody is saying about this Nigeria is the reason why Nigeria is not progressing. That's gaslighting. They are gaslighting you. People do that all the time. They are still doing it. Say it to your face and say, it is because you don't say good things about Nigeria. Yeah? That is why Nigerians are not respected abroad, or that is why Nigeria is not progressing. Not because the little resources, I should call it little because it's so kind of like compared to your size, okay? But the resources that you have that should have been judiciously managed among all of us. All these resources have now been sort of like cornered by these roles that will steal everything. And despite all the billions and billions they are stealing, they are not leaving them in Nigeria. Like you can say, oh, you are looting, it's still within your economy, they are taking them out. People are losing jobs, economy in coma, Some people are responsible for that. If you like, cost Nigeria from January to December. That is not the reason why Nigeria has no electricity. That's not the reason why Nigerian military or Nigerian security cannot defeat the supposed religious ragtag, terrorists. Corruption. That is it. Corruption. A corrupt system is actually a threat to the lives of the people living there. It's dangerous, right? So they came out and said that the refineries are no longer working. And I remember telling you then as well that Kyari criminal, the guy who's supposed to be in jail, and then his entire family, including if they have babies, every name Kyari, even anybody who say no be family member with a bear Kyari, they're supposed to be arrested. Then sort them and share the punishment. But for Kyari, Mele Kyari himself, right? He should be standing there or he should be waiting. But the hangman said, no. I have done my best to make you understand the gravity of what these guys have done in the last 10 years. NNPC is the only oil company, national oil company in the whole world that has never made any profit. But this Mele Kyari guy, he got to a stage, he started cooking figures to show that NNPC is making profit. But guess what? NNPC itself, right, was set up. NNPC was set up to handle Nigeria's oil sector. Among other subsidiary agencies that they set up with them, right? So NNPC will sell Nigeria crude, collect the royalty, remit the money to the Central Bank of Nigeria, and then make it public how much was realized from the sale of crude oil and how much has been remitted to the Central Bank of Nigeria, because that money by their law must be shared. But when Boko Haram came in, all of that changed. All of that changed, and people did not possibly notice, or they just didn't care. It was supposed to be a national asset, Abi. Then suddenly they privatized it. They privatized it, right? And then they now sold shares, supposedly to the public. But they sold it to themselves. They appointed, they now opened, and they said, oh, it's no longer NNPC. It is now NNPCL. Somebody that got appointed, political appointment, as a GMD for NNPC. And within a space of 5 years, he changed all of that. Privatized it, appointed themselves as CEO, this and that. All of them as, you know, they are like the board of directors for these new companies created with shares. You get what I mean? Like NNPC is a parastatal setup trained by Nigeria to manage everything that has to do with oil in Nigeria. But no, they privatize it. They share. They have shares to themselves. I say, how much is the NNPC here? We don't know. But guess what? Suddenly, NNPC, not NNPC, is now the one in charge of selling Nigeria crude oil. And for straight 5 years, there were times that they would not remit anything for months. In 2018, 2019, there were no remittances for a whole year. Nobody even cared. Nobody. It was like nothing. That was when Boko Haram was like printing money, borrowing everywhere. And people were like, what about money from crude oil? Where is the money? They will now see, you will see it in the news. They will say, NNPC remits $870 million to the national cover. And they will say, this was the money from January, February, March, April, May, June, July. And that's it. Nobody probes anything. Nobody asks questions. They just move on. It got to a stage, this Kyari criminal. Actually, I think I remember better now. It was like, people shouldn't be asking for the crude oil money anymore because they have already made a deal that Nigeria crude oil, say, the money from it is to be given to this their friends or oil importer. So there's no point in asking for how much crude oil they sold. This was how they ran under that Kyari guy. He called journalists, he called everybody, enough that they all went there to help him validate the scam. I don't know if you remember that of Portharcourt. I think I have a copy of that.
We commissioned Portharcourt Refinery. Prior to that, 900m Refinery was producing. Now we are Warri Refinery, Area 1, which we understand is producing products, naphtha, fuel oil, and AGO. But when the next area comes out, it will be producing gasoline directly. It is important to note that this achievement has been enjoyed by Nigerian public because for the first time in more than a decade or 2 decades, we have had the Unitime, which is October, November, December, January years without fuel queues and fuel all over the country, not only Lagos and Abuja. So this is an indication of the determination of our leader, President Tinubu, for his focus and determination by pushing both the regulator and the NNPC to ensure that this plan come on stream.
Nigerians are waiting, but I'm sure from tonight we will hear the good news that we are ready and prepared to solve the market the products that the really. Very soon, importation of refined product will be of the past. In actual fact, we shall be in the position to start exporting.
This plan has 3 stages. We have started the plant 1, which is, we call it Area 1, the fuels plant. It is able to produce AGO, kerosene, naphtha, and also a blend of fuel oil. And these are high-grade quality products that are required in the country. And we may also have a need to export them. So it's going to give us cash. This company will make money, and the promise of Mr. President that this country must be a net exporter of petroleum products is already happening. I must put on record that Mr. President's onerous belief that we can get this to work, that we can get these plans to start, and giving us the charge that we must start all 3 refineries. It's already happening. We have successfully started the Portharcourt Refinery with 60,000 barrels per day, all refinery. We have started the Area 1, the first plus Warri Refinery. The other plants that will produce PMS are being streamed, and they will also come live.
I wake up with joy, with happiness. When I saw the production from the fire, you can see it.
Nuisance lele. Nuisance lele. Nuisance.
Did you hear that last Warri? I am filled with joy when I saw the refinery working from the first person to scam Nigerians and got away with it was this guy under Boko Haram at Disirika when he told educated Nigerians, educated buffoons, intellectual morons, that he was starting a airline for Nigeria here. Educated mofos, they were everywhere. May Nigeria succeed. May Nigeria succeed. You enemy of Nigeria, you will see. You are always enemy of Nigeria when you call their attention to the obvious scam being pulled by these roads. And then when the truth comes out, the sewage dwellers, the crickets, they will suddenly disappear. And some of them will, the same them who are very, very loud, right? When you call the attention to the obvious fraud, because it's always obvious. Just ask questions and you realize that the whole thing is quite obvious. They are loud. Shut up your mouth. You this enemy of Nigeria. I know that you shouldn't be saying this thing about your fatherland. This is very sad. I understand that you don't like ABC, but let us wish Nigeria well. The Olori Brukus last. Whenever the truth comes out, they will suddenly disappear. And if they manage to appear, it's Ashiri. Alpha, you don't buy your Nigeria year tickets. Oh my God, I mean, surely this. Let me tell you something, my brother. See, honestly speaking, this country. Let us be honest. That see, this country, now only God will save us. Nobody will save this. Honestly, But me, I like what you are doing. Oh, I like what you are doing. Oh, the way you are trying to educate. I like it. Oh, but it's just that me, I don't believe that Nigeria, this country, now only God just say, "Oh, you cool, Ashiri." But it's the only God to sing. So me, share enemy Nigeria more. Me share any to wish Nigeria. I'm no longer the person that wanted. I mean, that doesn't want Nigeria to succeed. When I was calling the attention of everyone to what these rogues are doing. So now it is God that we now solve. You see this Nigeria, honestly, I'm tired. So you are no longer that loud. Hang on, even if you are tired, let's solve this. You called me enemy of Nigeria when I told you what these guys were up to. What did they tell you? What did they give you? What exactly did they remove from your brain that caused you, despite all the evidence, that made you feel like I was just somebody who never wanted anything good for Nigeria? Now, 4 months after the whole charade, the truth is out. Kyari has been removed. Ojulari has been appointed in his replacement, in his place. Now, Ojulari now, from what we have heard, have started sacking those who did all this scam with Abia Kyari. So what's going to be their fate? What's going to happen to them? Obasanjo was not spared, remember? They called, that one, the Savamo. But there's no name they didn't call Obasanjo. The same Obasanjo that left your refineries working 100%. I don't know if some of you know. The Obasanjo never paid subsidy. The same Obasanjo, he never paid any subsidy for any importation of what have you. Abi? Until he became popular, right under Yaradua, then Jolantan, and then towards it became a monstrous fraud under Boko Haram. Obasanjo said that refinery, the refinery we was in I built Abi, I mean, I think it was the one who built it in 1970, what, 77, 76 or 78, I don't know. He said this thing they are saying about refinery working as scam. There's no name they didn't call it.
You talk about the refinery in your opening remark. I went, when I was president, I went and called Shell. I said, Shell, look, come and help us. run the refinery, take part. You can take 10%, you can take 20%, but come on. They say no. I say, okay, all right. If you don't want to take equity, come and run it for me. They say no. So they left. I then called their head one-on-one. I said, look, sit down with me. Why do you turn down? They gave me 5 reasons. One, they said, our refineries are small. I think Portharcourt is 60,000 barrels a day. No, yeah, and I think that's Portharcourt. Kaduna is maybe 100. I think Warri is the largest, I think, maybe 120. And they said to me then that, look, refinery is about 250,000 barrels a day. So our refineries are too small. 2, they said, look, even we run our refineries as a service, but we make sure that we do not run it at a loss. But we make substantial part of our profit in the upstream. So, the refinery, if you run it well, you will break even and make a small profit. But if you don't run it well, you will run it at a loss. 3, they say our refinery, the way we have managed it, the way we have serviced it, is not the way that refinery should be serviced. So they don't want to get involved in that. 4, they said to me, the corruption around our refinery, they did not want to get involved in it. When they told me all that, I was completely numb. And then some Nigerians got together. They paid 750 million. I said, God has sent this one. My successor said, he turned it back. I ran to him and I said, look, you know this is not right. He said, well, NNPC said they can do it. I said, NNPC cannot do it. NNPC, I think you are investigating $1.5 billion that NNPC has spent on refineries since then, and the refineries will not work. But I told my successor that the refineries, from what I have heard and know, will not work. And when you want to sell it, you will not get anybody to buy it for $200 million as scrap. And that is the situation we are in now. So why do we do this type of thing to ourselves? NNPC knew that they cannot, but they knew that they can eat and carry on with the corruption that was going on in NNPC. And when people were there they put pressure. In a civilized society, those people should be jailed. Why do we do this to ourselves? And that is NNPC. Take anything. National Shipping Line, the story of it. Nigeria Airways, the story of it. Why do we do this to ourselves? You talk about the refinery.
That's Obasanjo. So the corruption continued, of course. Mele Kyari, Mike Antibaru, that one is dead now. That's the one that sold $25 billion worth of oil block licenses and took the check to Abia Kyari in London, when Warri was a vegetable in London, on London Hospital at the time. So Mele Kyari would have to go and enjoy his loot, wouldn't he? There's this guy on a rise, Emmanuel, who was very, very clear on what was happening at the time. He was almost blacklisted, almost mobbed by the Ronukus, who wanted to just swallow it. This is a good news. It's a good news. Let us be happy. It's a good news. It was very
I'm not surprised.
Really?
I'm not surprised. I mean,
Why
for months I have said that Warri, Portharcourt, and Kaduna are never going to come back to operation. And what Nigerians were seeing on TV as commissioning was just a charade.
Wow.
Okay? On the 12th of August 2021, the former president approved, Federal Executive Council approved memos for, monies to be raised for the 3 refineries. For Portharcourt, they approved FEC approved $1.48 billion. For Warri, they approved $897 million. For Kaduna, they approved $586 million. Total of $2.96 billion for turnaround maintenance. Money that can build a brand new 60,000 barrels refinery. Okay? The last of these 3 refineries was completed in 1989 by Shell. British Petroleum also started a chunk of it. So most of these refineries were actually built as very sizable modular refineries to produce LPFO and AGO to power the operations of the operators upstream. So they were not built to actually refine. So quite a number of them, Portharcourt and Warri does not have a catalytic reforming unit, right, that can convert naphtha. Naphtha is the base compound. The first stage of refining from crude oil is naphtha.
Right.
So the naphtha is what you now use a reforming unit to process into higher distillates like premium motor spirit. Warri and Portharcourt, right? Warri is 125,000 barrels. Portharcourt, if I'm not mistaken, is about 110,000 barrels.
Yeah.
They don't have it.
Don't. For APC, they know that millions of Nigerians are gullible, and being educated did not make any difference. Unfortunately, being educated even makes so many of them retards. So APC just run with whatever they dish out. They've got guys that they will send to the media to go and speak grammar to them, to go and paint pictures of this or that. You see, when months later, when you realize that you were lied to, those people, you won't see them again. Another set of people you will see who are going to begin to prep you again for another scam. You know what I mean? Where is, for example, you will begin to see people on TV now that will be saying, NNPC needs a true restructuring. NNPC, let me tell you something. You see that Ojulari was also with Mele Kyari when they are doing all this scam. So now Ojulari has replaced Kyari. So then you will see Ojulari's people will now go on media so that they can prep you again for another round of scam. So they will tell you, Ojulari is doing a wonderful job. He has been doing some bit of reform. He's been carrying out reform, and he has assured that Portharcourt and the Warri Refinery, they are going to start work before the end of this year. Until preparing again, like a clockwise. So people will begin to look forward to December. See, because this is no longer Kyari. This is now Ojulari. So you see everything where Kyari take their eyes see, they will forget it right away. They say, this is a new person. I know this man. If you know this man, I know his family. His family, they are very responsible family in Kwara. I understand. See, this man has been, you don't understand. This man is the brain, is getting here you get. Now we can set stage. Breaking news. Thiefnubu approved a $4.3 billion loan for the revampment, refurbishment, and upgrading to 21st century standard refinery, Portharcourt and Warri Refinery. They won't go borrow money again with that. So that by 2027 or 2028, they go Mele Kyari you again. We'll go back, we'll be back to the same thing again. What happened to that one? They say Mele Kyari stole in 2025. Like the money they used, they say, what happened to that one? Mayegun, Alaye, this is 2030. And we're not talking about Mele Kyari again. We are talking about Ojulari. We're not talking about it around $97 million anymore. We are talking about $4.5 billion. So the same Portharcourt, exactly. So they will prep you. They will begin to prep you now. You begin to get ready. This man said it is such a disappointment. He's probably one of those who believed them then when they said the refineries were working.
The turnaround maintenance have failed. And, that's why people say sometimes that, they don't understand why Nigeria should be poor. Nigeria should not be a poor nation. But you can see it now. If $1 billion is just thrown down the drain, turnaround maintenance that people have come out and commissioned, people that will hold in trust in NNPC have come out and said the thing was working and commissioned it. Portharcourt was working and commissioned it. And Portharcourt will land now is operating at 40% capacity. So it's really a tragedy. One of our colleagues in a program has, dissected these issues on the refineries. And I had hoped that we'll get it right. I had hoped. I always believe that if you have the right contractors, instead of all these briefest contractors we used to use in the past, because Nigeria has gone through several cycles of turnaround maintenance on refineries, and each of them always failed. You hear the billions of dollars they get to it, and then at the end of the day, not a liter of petrol comes out. Now, I thought by this time around we'll also get it right. But hopefully, I hope, tied to your story, the next story that you have, which is NNPC management and the new NNPC management team, I hope the new team will get it right. We also read in the papers that they have fired even though not confirmed by NNPC people yet, they have fired the MDs of the 3 refineries. That's Portharcourt, Warri, and Kaduna, along with a lot of other management staff. But it's not surprising because we already spoke about the new team that the president appointed in place for the NNPCL. And we said for the first time, the right thing had been done, the right people have been put in place. That team is made up of a team of technocrats who are not hungry, looking for to curry favor with anybody, who have strong CVs, and who hope that the board and management team will come in place and make sure that the right things are done and NNPC takes its rightful place in the oil industry worldwide. So when they mention the other national oil companies in the world, NNPC will have the right of place also. So the second thing he heard about employees being fired, we know that when we spoke about the key success factors for turning around a company, being a first-class company, we talked about the quality of employees. We talked about recruitment process that is transparent. We are the best hired for each position. I don't have the statistics here, but I can say that NNPC has not been very transparent in the recruitment process historically. We've known that a lot of people have been put in funny situations. But so the new team that's come to turn around NNPC must have their own team in place. I'm sure they've done a staff audit and identified those who they believe would have helped them achieve the objective. And so it's not surprising that this is happening. It's not surprising.
Welcome the response.
Nuisance, Lele.
Let me wait till I just talk with that. He's already talking about a new team, a team that is not hungry. Who is not hungry? They give you an NPC appointment. Even if you claim not to be hungry, you become so ferocious. I've been a vociferous. I've been at glutonians. It is the system. But that's what they do. They send people like that to TV to go and tell people that a new team is now in place. And guess what? By the time you begin to look at the new team, they are part of the last team. Yeah? So the Aluta Continua. course, now they will sack this. Yeah, we have sacked the refinery. They now sack the managers. Baba, NNPC gave contracts of turnaround maintenance of the refinery to their crooks, and their cronies. But right now, to make it look like they are doing some shake-up, they are doing some new thing, they don't sack the managers. Kaduna Refinery, which was built, I think it was built about 15 or so years ago now. Kaduna Refinery, Kaduna no get crude oil. From Kaduna, to Imo State, which you can say is the closest before you begin to go to the creeks. Or let's say Kaduna to Anambra State, which is also an oil producing state. So that's like about 700 kilometers apart. But they are intending to supply Kaduna Refinery with the crude oil from Bayelsa, 900 kilometers away. And you know something, since the establishment of Kaduna Refinery, they have never refined a teaspoonful of crude oil, ever. You want to hear the other funniest part of this corrupt system? They get staff, they have managers, they have directors, Baba, they have a wage bill. The last time, in 2017, the total salary paid to Kaduna Refinery workers was put at 12-point-something billion naira. In 2019, 2020, that jumped to over 20 billion naira, 21 billion naira, precisely. By 2022, 2023, brethren, they paid Kaduna Refinery workers a total sum of 47 billion naira. It's actually in the budget. And you know something? Kaduna Refinery budget for I think it was a 2022 or so, was over 200 billion naira. And guess what? Teaspoonful of crude oil, spoon crude oil, they've never refined it, ever. That's what the system is. The people that are supposed to help, in trust to help manage what is supposed to be the national assets, they have divided them, they have shared it among themselves. They're not holding it in trust for you anymore. That's the wrong thing. That's the wrong impression that some of you have. They're not holding any public trust. I mean, they are not holding any, what do you call it, the public resources in trust for you anymore. It is for them. The earlier, the better. The earlier, the better. You know this. So that's why we'll be like, how many times would they tell you?
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Ah! Now they never leave you. They have left you behind. Photo, not be juju be that. Sorry, oh. May God not allow them, make them kill you. 70 years old man. I am mumu na too much. You be mumu. You think say they wise?
Muma, Ronoku, and bad idiots. Look at me very well. I strongly believe that whatever they did to you, somehow you can undo it. I think it can be undone. Because the entire system is rigged against you. You are not spared. Thiefnubu and his gang, they've always been about themselves. You can continue to help them push that tribal, ethnic, religious, divisive, hateful rhetorics all over the place, or you will remain the voluntary slaves that you are, worthless, because you're worth nothing to them. They know the consequences of their actions will impoverish more of you. But no, to double down. One of them, called Sungomu, is the special advisor to Thiefnubu. Maybe he's never even met Thiefnubu. Remember Baba Ahmed, Akim Baba Ahmed, who has been the Thiefnubu's special advisor for over a year, and he's never met Thiefnubu once to discuss about. He's a special advisor to Thiefnubu on politics through the office of a shitty man. He's never had any one-on-one with Thiefnubu. He said he saw him twice in the last 1.5 years. He saw him twice in the mosque, Jumat prayer. The person where you work for, we don't even see you. Do you understand? But now here is a clown in suits telling everybody that they have lifted over 10 million Nigerians out of poverty. Where are the 10 million? And you 10 million, you don't know what?
If we maintain.
His name is Sununu. I don't know the meaning, right? So I just kind of like choose the one that works for me. I call him Sugomu. You may never even see much of his face anymore. You may never see his face again. But yeah, he's one of the supposed court jesters, the clowns, entertaining Thiefnubu in the ass old rock. From there, Baba Kim said, sometimes you wonder if people would be like, if people can be very sincere, because after leaving us old rock, you still get to see the ordinary everyday people, what they are passing through. Some of them will meet you and say, please, why don't you talk to your guy now? This whole thing is true. You know, they talk to Ramni. Say, well, we don't see him, right? But whenever you are in the villa, they are giving themselves award, organizing banquets, organizing, Thanksgiving, flaunting the supposed their wealth of the land, yeah, without any sort of like fear or anything in that contraption. But still, they will come out and remind you that they have indeed saved 10 million Nigerians out of poverty. Where are they?
If we maintain this trajectory, and then with strong monitoring and evaluation component that the government instituted, using the office of their special assistant on policy development,
yeah,
things can go in the right, and that's why I've mentioned that this is not the first time Nigeria is having prediction.
Yeah. Okay, well,
but how much did we utilize the information?
Right. We hope that you're right, because we would prefer it if poverty goes down. Nobody likes the idea that poverty is going up.
But let's look at it now.
No, let me just make a point, okay? You're a member of the APC, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a member. Elected in different dimensions.
How long has the APC been in power now?
How long? At least 10 years from now.
Very good. Now, the previous government of President Buhari, an APC government, I might add, said its goal was to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years. In 2021, he said he had lifted 10.5 million people out of poverty. But a fact check conducted by Premium Times newspaper and other civil society groups, as well as official NBS data, showed that 10 million people actually slipped into rather than came out of poverty. So your administration, I mean the Tinubu administration, was essentially starting from zero in 2023 after the same APC party had been in office for 8 years. Though I might add that it was, as I said, the same APC government. And now the cycle begins again. And you're asking us again to give you our ears and sit there and listen to you while you spew all kinds of things about what you intend to do.
No, I didn't say you should give us their eyes to this thing. But I have to tell you what are the strategies now adopted to make sure that we abate the prediction and we reverse the narratives and change the dynamics.
Is there continuity between the Buhari government and your government?
Government is continuum.
Yeah, I want to know how many people were
continuum. I've just told you
how many people have been systematically. The projection of that APC government was 100 million in 10 years.
That's in 2030.
From 2021
to 2030.
Okay, we're now in 2025, 4 years later. Subsequent to him saying that, a fact check was done and people found that rather than people being lifted out of poverty, people had fallen into poverty. Give us the statistics in the last 2 years that you've been in office.
You have quoted an official figure, of which MBS is a government document. You understand?
Of course.
And therefore, you have quoted an official distance. But you see, why do we have monitoring and evaluation component of every program? You can predict, you can debate, but you can look back and say, okay, what are the issues that made me not to achieve what I've targeted? Oh my God.
Yes, you can do a post-mortem.
You understand?
Certainly.
And I told you, the overdependence on using monetary dimension as against the multidimensional nature of poverty is a major setback. And that's why it was reversed by looking at the multidimensional poverty addition. For instance, we have looked at that, and I was even in Oxford about 6 weeks ago,
right,
which we have reviewed the report. And what do we find majorly is that most states do not use the result of the study in terms of budgeting and planning for their state. And therefore, there is need for that. And that was part of the recommendation I have forwarded to Mr. President when I came back. And Mr. President gladly directed all that should be circularized to call on the attention of all the states to look at the various components. Because that is very, very important. The approach we are saying, well, it's not giving us look at if you look at the 5 states or 6 states that are the poorest state, of which Sokoto, Bayelsa, Kebbi, Jigawa, Gombe, and which are Yobe. If you look at them now, while they are the poorest, but if you disintegrate the different components of poverty, you find that each dimension is contributing differently to the level of that state poverty. So if you give it a holistic approach, you are not likely to succeed. For instance, for Bayelsa, housing is a major issue because you need to claim this thing, you need to do this thing. Out of school is not an issue as much as that of Sokoto, which in terms of contribution to poverty. So if you said you are going to address issue of out of school children in Bayelsa to improve their status, you will not get result as when you apply that in Sokoto. So
I see the point you're trying to make, but I don't see the point of it.
No, the point of it is that if you remain focused and the scarce resources you have, and you direct it appropriately, you'll be able to.
I understand that, but my point remains the same.
Yes.
You being APC, you've been in power for 10 years. These mistakes that you're talking about, in other words, we should sit back whilst you make mistakes.
We are not saying,
and then you come back and say, oh yeah, we screwed up. We're going to make another attempt.
You are trying to push what my
I'm just saying, because I'm trying to understand how many people you've lifted out of poverty in 10 years.
Your interpretation is quite different. What I'm telling you is that there is a system now we put in place to see how much we can contribute to make things better than
so after 8 years,
you see,
you've now put a system in place.
The system is that we have lifted 10 million out of poverty.
There's no evidence to support.
You have mentioned that.
No.
But you see,
I said there was a fact check, and 10 million more people had fallen into poverty.
If you put what moved them back to poverty, and that's what we should be able to address. You understand? And that's also what, if we maintain.
Ẹni òfò ni ẹ ṣòfò láyé ẹ tún ṣe lálìkìyàmà ẹ̀yin rádaràda wọ̀nyí. Ẹni òfò ni ẹ ṣòfò láyé ẹ tún ṣe lálìkìyàmà ẹ̀yin rádaràda wọ̀nyí. Ẹni òfò ni ẹ ṣòfò láyé ẹ tún ṣe lálìkìyàmà ẹ̀yin rádaràda wọ̀nyí.
Allahumma amen. Now they see the ways that are defending Thiefnubu. He said they were somehow, right? They believe that it is because we don't like Thiefnubu. That is why we are exposing every flaw of his illegitimate regime. No, but are those flaws real? Are these court jesters real? They are real. Clowns. Did you hear the guy? He said, number one, there is evidence that rather than for people to be taken out of poverty, more people have been dipped in poverty. Evidently. APC, Ebekebe have impoverished millions of Nigerians. And somehow they are telling themselves that they have lifted Nigerians out of poverty. And it was being told there that there is no evidence. Then he started all this balablu nonsense to try to make sense. The more he tries to explain the jargons, the more senseless he became, obviously. He said we cannot use the same poverty rate. I understood, right? Poverty rate from one state to another, because their major sort of priority, right, of, the scale of preference of what makes them poor, they are different. Okay. So he said he went to Oxford last week. I went to Oxford last week. So he came back with a data that said, oh, Bayelsa, they are poor. They have housing problem. They don't have out-of-school children problem. Sokoto, they are poor. They have out-of-school children problem. Oh, he's sounding like he's intelligent. He just came back from Oxford, right? He must be intelligent. So this was him trying to pretend to want to make any sense at all. How much is this pot? He said the baby is fine. What is the correlation? So, okay, you went to Oxford. You came with the data. And then he said he now presented the data to Thiefnubu. Thiefnubu now ordered all the states to start using this data. You said no, yeah, give evidence. How many a year when how many of these people's lives have you actually impacted positively? And you can show us evidence. I mean, it's sad. And what makes it even more sadder is that there are people who believe that these guys are somehow doing their best. Have you heard that before? Oh, about easy. I won't try. They are doing their best. Well, Nigeria is not easy to rule, my brother. You think say easy? It's not easy to rule. I don't think it's easy to rule, truly. Because psychologically, you can never believe your luck. Like if I was stealing from people, I'll be working with, in fear. But Nigerian criminal politicians, they don't seem to be working in fear or anything. Right? So somehow, they believe that they are supposed to be like walking and watching their back. Unfortunately, if they ever watch their back, they will see the same people they stole from singing their praises. On your man, death, they shall die. On his pampas, they shall buy. Ebola on your pampas, Bola on your pampas, Bola on your pampas, Koolu on your pampas, they shall die. Singing praises, so they're ready to sniff the pampas. Say, Baba, I can go I am it all right. Like that's actually a thing. The product of Thiefnubu's political academy, they are of different classes. But the lowest of the rank, the violent ones, the Omotas, if you can just give me your pampas, I hear me done better. My life done better. I just do all your shit, Baba. Honestly, Baba, me enjoy, Baba. Thugs whose lives have been swapped, and they are, the uniformed army of these roads. Thiefnubu and his gang. Oh, like father, like son, by the way. Did you hear what they said that Seyi Tinubu did. A few months back, the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, right? They were to have their election, their national election, to elect their national executives, including their president. But Seyi Omodadi was interested in the seat. So he appointed somebody to go on and become the president of NANS in Nigeria. But for some reason, that person got sort of like overpowered, so they lost. And because the person, Seyi Tinubu, wanted to become the next NANS president in Nigeria, right, lost out. Seyi then declared the election invalid. And since then, he has been using the DSS as the first, from the office of the first, from the office of the first son of the, whose Republic of Nigeria? I don't know what you should call it, right? Sorry to those of you who are still passionate about that contraption, or it should not be federal. It should be the Fool's Republic of Lige. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Clear that. Seyi used his own office. It doesn't even have an office, does it? No, it doesn't have any office. Anyway, but we can still say the office of the first son of Nigeria mobilized the DSS to hunt down these guys. But somehow, it's like they were able to keep kind of maneuvering it until they chose a date for inauguration. And then it was on the day of their inauguration. He didn't bring DSS this time to beat them. He brought his own thugs from Lagos, Amaraba. They beat all these guys up. Baba, the same Aluta spirit, students. What kind of people are now students in Nigeria these days, by the way, right? Thugs came to the National Association of Nigerian Students inauguration ceremony in Nigeria, and they got away. One president is going to inaugurate. Baba, you could say the guy stole phone in Computer Village. I can show you the video. I don't think even the picture is not too graphic. But here, on channels, right? One of them is stabling the situation.
And if care is not taken with the involvement of the president's son for the past 1 year, he has done everything to make sure that the organization is porous. What he stands to gain, I don't know.
Are you afraid that NANS is beginning to, would you say it is losing the real reason why it was formed? Because the real reason why NANS was formed, as far as we know, is that it was for the welfare and the growth of Nigerian students. Yes. But now it does appear that there is heavy political interference. And people are always very interested in who the leadership is, who they support politically, etc. Do you fear that this is making NANS lose its focus on the primary reason for why it was established?
In fact, let me say, the organization is almost losing it. Because these people have programmed the organization in the sense that if you do not have government backing, I am afraid, you might not be able to become anything in the organization, except few that still have the genuine interest of the student at heart. And that is the reason why the interest is becoming so high. Everybody is now tagging themselves to one political party or the other. The organization is already losing the purpose of its creation. And if care is not taken with the involvement of the president's son for the past 1 year, he has done everything to make sure that the organization is porous. What he stands to gain, I don't know. What he wants to achieve, I don't know. But the question I want the general public to ask him is, what is his interest in NANS? He wasn't a stakeholder. He didn't school in Nigeria, because the only thing that can qualify you to be a stakeholder in the organization is if you have served in the organization. And the only thing that can qualify you to be a member of the organization if you are a student schooling in Nigeria, you are a member. That means you have rights to contest in the organization. But if you did not fall in this category, there's no how you can term yourself a stakeholder of the organization. And you now hide under the power that you have to be terrorizing some set of people in the country that is everybody's security is meant to be secured by the president of Nigeria, the country. So I'm afraid, like you said, the organization is almost losing it. It's almost losing it.
If we lend ourselves to innovation, we can create wonders. Here is a successful, again, a town hall, different from Blue Bulaba.
Laba. So the young man that got elected, he was supposed to be sworn in. They call him a Pedro Chibuzo from Delta State. He is now the guy that Seyi Tinubu has been sending his goons to let him know that he can't want something and Chibuzo wants something. Seyi wants something. Chibuzo wants something. Even if the entire process and participant goes for Chibuzo, what are you going to do about what Seyi wants? That is what they are now. Like, the impunity, the lawlessness, what do you want to do? In this country, you won't try me, you won't face Seyi. You get that thing. So, it is what it is. And this is just the beginning. Whatever you are seeing them do right now, this is just the beginning. It is going to get worse. It is. And somehow, in the last 2 years, I kind of feel like they've won for life. Yeah, people can complain, people can say whatever they want. They will never have what it takes to confront us. That's the way I think they probably see it or see everybody. You know what I mean? You have the Dangbana Shokos, the Jagabandits, the family, and the rest who have for a very long time they've entrenched themselves in every system. They entrenched themselves in it whenever they have the opportunity. The last one they had, which has sort of lasted longer than anyone could imagine, is that of Lagos. So if Seyi wants to, you didn't school in Nigeria, you did not serve in Nigeria, you did not belong to these NANS and what have you. What is his interest? Is trying to mark his territory. You know what I mean? They've told him that he's like his father. He's a lovable guy. He's a philanthropist. And with the way Nigeria is set up, when his father is gone, he is capable of replacing his father, of being a godfather. So this will be the time for him to begin to assert himself, mark his territory. There will be more from that. For those of you who have witnessed this, there is more from where that comes from. Sorry, God, no allow me then kill you. So what will leave them? I just said something about Delta now, right? The last we heard of Delta was when Okowa, Sheriff, to avoid jail, to avoid being so sort of like stripped of all he stole from Delta states, Okowa, Sheriff, who is the current governor, Okowa, the former one, they were in the news 2-3 days ago, right? That they have decided to join the APC and their sins were to be forgiven. Anyway, their boss, the ex-convict, James Ibori, was in a church where this sheriff was. And kind of, it was like, I'm going to bring James Ibori from your PDP. I'm going to bring him to APC as well. But he's already part of the APC. But that's not why I want to play you this video. I need you to watch his countenance, watch his body language. I want you to listen to what he's saying, how he's saying it, and then maybe I can ask you something after. So pay attention. Nigeria will make it, honestly. Ogechi, God bless you, ma'am. Thanks so much for that super chat. It's quite generous of you. Bless you, ma'am.
You can always say the truth. If you don't gather there and you are sentimental, the family will break. The center cannot move. I didn't want to speak here, but our bishop says speak, so people will hear. So that when our leader leave here and go home, you see your family today is scattered. But when you go to Abuja, you speak in different voice, with different voice. You are speaking here, other people are speaking here. So you will speak well. It is now the time for you to lead us well. If you are a leader, because it's so central, I will talk about no, if you say it's always like, who will make out the Lobo? Who will make it? You must talk to your elders. Even though you take advice, counsel from your elders. And I ask you one thing, because when you are leading your children, some are in APC, some are in Labour, some are in here, and I ask you, when is going to join us? And I know you will join us very soon, maybe. Is it not true? I will receive our leader in Jesus' name. But look apart. Let us continue to live together. I'm not saying this so that there is something to take home. You have created a big family. And a family need to be united. I know you want to respond. You can't respond. You will not Papa and Pikin. It's an opportunity to tell our leaders some of these things. And that's why I was mentioning all this. You have tried very well. But you need to try more. You need to try what? Unite Tinubu. You are loved. But the love will not be complete if people are divided. So I thank you when you said that to speak. I don't know, but I have to say it. So we are here for the vigilance of our leader who has been a very good life. There's no better time to die. When you die, and like you have said, you live well and die well. So one day we will still go. He has lived about last 70 years.
God is so benevolent. And I think it is the God of the New Testament, to be precise. He's a very calm, considerate God. I mean, you will agree with me that the kind of God, right, that was recorded in the First Testament in the Bible. That one, you know. See some people that, some children, they were abusing a prophet. Just called a lion to eat them. The lion just came from nowhere and just eat all of them. He was watching what was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. He got so pissed that he destroyed the entire place, turned everybody to salt. Another time he was so angry, he was so upset that he was so tired of humanity. He had to call Noah that Benilo beauty boat. We might destroy everything now. Again, we have to start all over again. They like, small thing like this, fire people just come from somewhere, just destroy this, But now the God of New Testament, that one is like, a very, very strict father who now give birth to a last born. Suddenly, all the things that, the older siblings were indeed punished for, the last born is just like, if not in it. The God of Old Testament, do you know how many dead body were supposed to surplus inside that church? Starting with a sheriff, right? On that pulpit. You just see one snake will just come from the wall or from one calendar. You just see a calendar with snake, you just come out like that. You just, wow, just swallow and just go back in there. Everybody go to wonder where sheriff go. Say now God was angry. Blasphemy against God on his altar, right? But that's that, right? Now let me quickly take you on another trip. This time we are going to Abia State. I don't know if you are aware that the last Peter Obi's trip or video, the one reported from John Hopkins, right, in Maryland in the US last week, triggered has caused so much sort of like discomfort, unsettled the camp of the supposed owners of Nigeria. I can't even say owners of Nigeria. The rogues in Nigeria. The last time, it was Sanwo-Iku. It was Sanwo-Iku that was singing, right, and quoting unverifiable facts, data as facts, just because, it was an opportunity to still remind Thiefnubu that he is still loyal. I don't know if some of you are aware of this, right? It's been some, like, faintly reported, what do you call it? Disagreement or out of favor kind of a thing between Sanwo-Iku and Thiefnubu. Let me tell you a bit of it, because what I'm about to say next or do next is kind of relative, all right? So it was reported that the removal of Obasa by the Lagos State House of Assembly, they were done out of disobedience to Thiefnubu. They said when this whole thing first started, especially in December 2024, December last year, when Thiefnubu was in Lagos, and he heard about what was going on between Obasa and Sanwo-Iku. He now told Obasa to go on and settle whatever it is between them. Go and settle it with Jide. Go and see Jide and settle it. So there was no plan of removing Obasa. The whole thing was that of Sanwo-Iku. So when Obasa got removed, they said the report there was that it was a joint, sort of like a conspiracy. And that conspiracy was no longer considered as conspiracy against Obasa. It was seen as a conspiracy against Thiefnubu and Thiefnubu's authority. So the idea of sending these guys to say they want to sell this Oshoba and Bisia Konde, that they were settling the score between them, and they told them to go and return Obasa, this and that. They were there to represent Thiefnubu, and at the same time, trying to make sure that it didn't escalate. Because it was also reported that the same Sanwo-Iku was the one who gave over $25 million, 8.7 or so billion naira, to this lady, Aisha Ashimogu. Now, Aisha Ashimogu, right, who is said to be Sanwo-Iku's paramour. You know what is paramour, right? Sanwo-Iku's girlfriend. And I'm trying to kind of like, portray her in a better way. But some will tell you that she's a businesswoman, she's this or that. Nah. Anyway, Sanwo-Iku took the advantage to possibly be a good boy, right? By going for Obi. It's easier. You want to make Thiefnubu happy. You want to make the APC stalwart happy. Go for Thiefnubu. Go for Obi. All because Obi said that the leaders in Nigeria prefer to go abroad for their medical treatment while their citizens are left in squalor. They are left, right, to go and probably take care of themselves wherever they can. That's not a lie. I mean, Thiefnubu, everybody knows that your president only visits you once in a while, right? Because his hospital, his doctors, they are in London and they are in France. That's not a lie. That opportunities have been so mismanaged. People appointed who were supposed to manage your economy, they have mismanaged it enough that they are only feeding you with propaganda and gaslight. That's not a lie. That's when this another ex-convict, Ojiuzo Koolu, has turned on his own camera and the ring light to warn Obi to stop demarketing Nigeria. What the heck is he talking about? Demarketing Nigeria by saying what is happening and something that is orchestrated by your own supposed political party, your government. What are you talking about? Eh? Oh, listen.
It's very difficult to see some of our leaders going around America, Europe, Canada, Australia, China, demarketing our country. When we're busy looking for investment to pull up the country, people are busy going to tell everybody in Nigeria that nothing is happening. Sure. But how do we bring the people up? We must lift our Nigerians up. The policies of President Ahmed Tinubu is going to work, and it's working. But the problem is that it's not trickling down. It's a trickling down effect is what is after, and that is why we need continuous investment without stop. This is why we're all over everywhere to bring new investment back to Nigeria, so that people can see work, hunger will go, and things will work. I know it's all over the world, it's difficult, but let our leaders come together. We are one family. Tinubu is not the owner of this country. He's just our president, which he will go. Buhari is already in Daura, from Kaduna. Tinubu will one day, after 8 years or so, one day be in Lagos, and nobody calls his name. So let us stop demarketing our country. Let us as family come together and work on the economic policies. The essence of opposition is to do the correct things and tell us what is wrong, how we can better the life of the people we want to govern. If it's this way that opposition will be, it means they have nothing to offer Nigeria. We will not have anything from anybody. I'm not a frivolous man. I don't live in politics. I don't play politics. I bring new investments that Nigerian people can have jobs, and people of our country will be committed to it. So I prefer leaders who are speaking the truth to the world than try to malign the country. It's not the right thing to do. Can we change our hearts? Work for the betterment of Nigerian people. Whether you are anybody, let us work the betterment of Nigerian people. The betterment is what we need. Whether we are right or wrong, let Nigerian people be lifted up. That is my own bane of contention. And anybody who do not want to do this is plugging our country into a problem. Can we please rise and work for more investment to the country? Continuous investment. China was once in this position we are today. Vietnam was once in this position. We can overcome, and we will overcome. Because subsidy is a problem all over the world. You can only do food subsidy. You cannot continue subsidizing everything. Since 1960, this is the first time we are trying to tell goodbye to subsidy. Let everybody work on a real economy, and let us see the chaff and the grass. Goodbye. May we work for Nigeria. May we live and see that Nigeria survive.
ẹni òfò ni ẹ ṣòfò láyé ẹ tún sí lálìkìyàmà ẹ̀yin rádaràda wọ̀nyí. ẹni òfò ni ẹ ṣòfò láyé ẹ tún sí lálìkìyàmà ẹ̀yin rádaràda wọ̀nyí.
Adìyẹ di olórí burúkú man. They like people who say the truth as opposition, which means they talk about what's going on one hand. Then in that same breath, he's saying that we should not be demarketing Nigeria abroad. But That's a guy that makes over 55 million naira every month. Do you know that? That he makes over 55 million naira every month. While the rest of you would have to manage between 77,000 and maybe 300,000. How much is your lecturers collecting? How much are the lecturers collecting? You just want to say something, you know? And it is so irritating that the same guy that looted Abia State got convicted for it and then got freed for technical reason, and over 10 billion naira stolen from Abia people gone. And there he, look at him. We all should come together to attract investors to our country. How do you, how do you attract investors to a place where rogues who are supposed to be in prison are the ones running the country? A place where the people are completely at the mercy of their killers. And then they turn around and say, stop demarketing Nigeria. Koolu was, where was this again? I think it was in, was it UAE, I think. What do you think this is in the context of the Ronukus? This is the guy in charge of Nigeria. And he is also the Babiala general of Nigeria as well. Telling the world, not giving any sensible, sound, sort of like objective contribution though. What would you call this as a non-Nigerian?
I am from Nigeria. It's better to give you the true picture of what's going on in Africa. We have terrorism challenges, insecurity challenges that are preventing farmers to even go to their farm. We have problem in Sudan, displacing people. We have problem of climate change, flooding, destroying crops. And we have problem of protectionism. We have problems. It is very important to make it clear and louder here. We have problem of out of school children. We have problem of funding free education or giving our children 1 meal a day in a classroom to even make them pay attention to schooling. Africa has that problem.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
That was Koolu last year. And as part of what Obi said that triggers them, yeah, here is one.
Nigeria have less than 10%, about 5% health insurance, with over 70% of the health facility, the community health centers, not functional, with nobody to manage. So it depends on where you are. If you're sick, the only thing you can do is to pray to God. That's why there's more prayers than dealing with the elite. Because there's nowhere to go to. And that is the crisis we face, the issue. But because the process has been hijacked by, I won't say bandits, but something like that, you hardly can take it back without the people understanding that they have a role to play in this in order for us to take it back. For me, like I said, it's just to give you an idea of my own little contribution in my experience of traveling around and saying that the problem is leadership. Nigeria have less than 10%.
Exactly. That's the one that Thiefnubu omitted. Problem of leadership. That's what he said. And they said he's demarketing Nigeria. Everybody is jumping into it. Especially Sonweku. We are waiting for Solu Dombo. That one will soon write his own, he will soon write his own piece too as well of how and why Peter Obi is demarketing Nigeria and is demarketing the Ndigo in Nigeria. Very soon, that one self will soon publish something. But before then, it was Sonweku. Sonweku is trying to impress Thiefnubu because of what they believe is coming for him. Jimmy cannot lie you. It is believed that, you see, the last has not been heard of what happened between Sonweku, Obasa, and that status of assembly. It's going to be around the time that a lot of people will be wondering and say, but what is all this again? That even Sonweku himself may have to struggle to complete his term in Lagos. There were two kings, Elegushi and the other one, who were said to have been drafted into the plot to remove Obasa. They are currently sending emissaries to go and help them tell Thiefnubu that it was Sonweku that dragged them into it. They didn't know anything about, they didn't know that he didn't get the approval of Thiefnubu before Obasa was removed. So like I said, the last hasn't been heard. You understand? So you may wake up one morning and they will say, oh, they want to remove Sonweku. And all of you will be like, what's happening? Okay? Say they fight in a way, and it's going to happen. Because it is beyond just the removal of Obasa. It is also about Sonweku making an investment, playing smart than his own master. His relationship with a lady called Aisha Ashimogu, a lady that paraded herself as a businesswoman. She is the lady that Sonweku spent over $1 million in organizing a birthday for in Grenada. She is his own paramour. Paramour. It's actually an English word, though, paramour. So the EFCC declared her wanted. Why? There was a part where it was, even though she denied, they said Sonweku in 2023. Sonweku sent over 800,000 US dollars or not naira, to Atifu's campaign via Aisha. The reason why the EFCC declared her wanted is she paid $25 million for an oil block, and they believed that she's fronting for somebody. That she's not a person that can afford to pull out $25 million, $8.7 billion naira oil block, put in a bid, won the bid, got the money, paid the money, and she owns an oil block. So the only person that can know that she is fronting for someone is no other person than Thiefnubu's regime. She is. I have a video, in case if you have people who want to be doubting Thomas's. I should have put it up, right? Aisha's birthday, where Sonweku spent over $1 million. Everyone that went, Baba, every guest, right, was moved there. Like they'll give you an invite. Give you, just give them your name like that. Then they will get you your visa, like a group visa for everybody, including their air ticket. Every person that went to Aisha's birthday that year. It was a scandal. Ibijoke, Sonweku's wife. Anyway, I'll spare her. All right, someone will just leave her out. So DFCC now declared her wanted for money laundering. That is helping people to move money. It is Thiefnubu's regime. So why is Aisha now declared wanted. So something is cooking. Something is not right between boss and his boy. They powder coal. You get them, right? Something is just not right. So I don't want to begin to fill your ears with the conspiracy theories, but I mean, it won't be wrong for you to put 1 and 2 together based on the available pieces of information about these guys. Like I've brought them to you. Put them together. What is the answer? And that's up to you. So yeah, was Aisha in court today when they finally got her, or she surrendered herself and she says she's innocent. This whole thing is politically motivated. Motivated by who? Politically motivated by who? Not to finish everybody, honestly. You just need to be in the clique. And before you know it, you said go to shout, money na water, money na water. When millions are dying in poverty, literally, not like dying physically.
Close up, close up.
Excuse me.
It's just normal, very normal. It's no problem.
Ella now, can't you people's phones?
What is the problem?
Ella now, can't you people's phones?
What is the problem?
Normal, it's just normal, very normal. It's no problem.
Close up, close up.
I mean, if you hear that your friend or your sister, she is the girlfriend or side chick to Governor Ade Pointer, Governor Ade Gator, Governor Pointer and Kill, Sanwo-Iku, running the richest, the biggest and the richest states and economy in the entire country. So somehow, she is now in court. So everybody in that place knows that who she is, right, and what's going on. The only question in their mind will be, but why? But why are they doing this to Auntie Aisha? Why are they doing this to Aisha? Aisha is a very nice person. Is it because she's like dating to, Sanwo-Iku? I mean, come on. Let us call, you know what I mean? Like, it is Nigeria. It is a place where once they make you a special advisor to the local government chairman on, drainage matters, your entire family will likely want you to go to the church to throw a Thanksgiving so that you can be appointed as member of the builders committee of your church. And then they want you to throw some party because, come on, man. In their community, somebody has just been appointed as a special advisor to local government chairman. Do you think that's a small, that's a mean feat? No. When you ask them where you're going to see the money, they're like, come on, man, it is government. The money is there. Just take it. That is Nigeria. But it's, it's unfortunate, though. that the victims, the real victims whose money are being stolen, moved here and moved all over the place like this, they are still the ones that will tell you that Ogbeni is doing well, he's doing fine. So then you can start wondering, where do you think you're going to start from to start fighting for these people? So don't fight for them. Don't do it. Don't fight for them. They will fight for themselves when the time is right. And like I said, if they tell you that your economy is getting better, now people where the streets suppose kind of confirm that. I don't think this woman has witnessed that yet.
Congo right títí de gbẹ̀rún mẹ́rin. Mbola bayun ja. En ba lo ma méjì mẹ́ta. Ah, to right ṣe jẹ mọ́. Eluba la fún gan ti wọ́n. Isu ni a ma ti ṣe refreshment láàrin ọjọ́. Kò ṣeé mọ́. Bí a fẹ́ ẹyọ sukan ní ìsìn, ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lórí 2000. Congo ẹ̀wà ó ti di 2000 something. Kódà Congo right títí de gbẹ̀rún mẹ́rin.
I understand, Jare Baba. So when you want to speak grammar, English, copy and paste nonsense, propaganda, the gaslight or blackmail, or every other tool that you have in your kitty there, to try to force it on people that things are getting better. Things are getting better. You don't need to. When things begins to get better, the people themselves will be your adverts, because they will do it for free. So you don't keep deceiving yourselves. In places where things are happening, you can't hide it. I saw a video where Rufai, coming back from the US, because it was in the US last week, then he's back in Nigeria right now, right? And it was in Abia State, the same state that Oji Uzokalu and his mother looted to till. So he was there to go check all this noise about Alex Otti, this Alex Otti, that is this just a social media noise or is it real? So he went on the streets and he met the people, the residents of Aba. They were there to tell him what it is like. And the nicest part of the entire video, right, was when one of the residents said they do not have billboards in Abia State saying Alex Otti is working. They just see the work and then they become the biggest promoter of what they can see, what they feel, what they see and feel. Not like that of Koolu that just imagine it. Everything is hard. Or when you know what? Just imagine that everything is fine and everything will be fine. That's what they are telling everybody under Koolu. Or the Abians.
So bastardized. Really? For the past 50 years. For the past 50 years? 50 years since the inception of Abia State. This road has never been tampered with or constructed by any company or any other government. But this is the first time. Nobody knows that this road is Afipo Road. People living in Aba, for the past 50 years, have never known the name of this road. But now people knew that this is Afipo Road for the first time. From here, just join the Azikiwe axis there. Straight to the school of primary school. It's not it's a very high defeat. So the guy, Abia State Governor, has done well. Looking at Asa Road and any other road, I have gone to Hank, I've seen Oboya, I've seen other roads being constructed, hidden. But do you know the greater part of this is that I've never seen any billboard bearing Alex Otti construction company or whatever, or praising him. He's not a fan of praise singers. He has been doing his job diligently, inwardly, and his works are speaking for him. Okay. Come 2027, there is no Jupiter, no demon on earth that can ever stop him.
Okay. Thank you. I'm excited. The governor is really trying. Look at our road. Before, we have been suffering in this Abia State, but now, everywhere is also neat. Both lights, both good roads. I can't know. I'm really excited. Let the governor keep on doing well. People, masses are really praying for him. Yeah. And also, I'm happy for him as the governor of this Abia State. Then he will keep on ruling us forever. We don't need any other governors. We only need Alex Oti, our governor. We don't need any other person. It's only Alex Oti we need. So my name is Adane Buazu. Also, my full name is Chiwend Juliet Obuji. I'm from Imo State in Idato North. Yeah.
Well, by the grace of God, I've been in Aba for more than 38 years. All this place you are seeing has been a forgotten area. Indeed, a forgotten area. Nobody has ever believed that here we come to this state as we are seeing it today. We are only giving praise to God on behalf of our dear able Governor, Dr. Alex Chioma Oti. This is what the evil ones have so denied of us for many years, since 2015 up to date. But thank God for nature. When nature says no, no is no. Nature says no to the evil ones, and no is no. Today,
sorry about that, sort of like a mixed up. It was like the audio and the video, they disagree. So that is why you are hearing the woman's voice when you are looking at a man, and you're hearing a man's voice when you are looking at a woman. But the message was clear. So if I was there, it was all over the place. It's a long video, but it's annoying if the whole voice is not sinking. You know what I mean? I hope you got it. Also, in another news, Angono. I don't know if some of you have seen this. The Ronukus from nowhere, they decided to publish this fake, this fake economies. They said fastest growing economies in 2025, right? They said even shows the GDP growth per percentage projection by IMF for 2025. This is 2025, okay? But brethren, if you have seen this online, African Wahala, Abile Babs, if any of you have seen this image online, it is fake. And if you don't believe me, do you know that all IMF projections and data and stuff like that, they're on their website. And there's nothing like this. Nothing, absolute nothing like this. They said the source is IMF. They said this was presented by Trade Brains. We search for what is a Trade Brains. You know, normally, right, if they say USAID report, all you have to do is just to go onto the USAID website and see what they have been up to, right? So if they say this report is from Spears, so you can go to their website and you're going to see the details there, like extensive explanation. A few days ago, World Bank and IMF, they released the report of countries that are going to face a very tough economic reality in 2026 due to what's happening in 2025. Nigeria is projected to have more Nigerians who fall into poverty in 2026. IMF, World Bank, the same guys who are behind this, only for something called Trade Brains. You know the way APC push their propaganda. They will ask a non-entity, a faceless account, to publish something like Nigeria is the third fastest growing economy in the world under Thiefnubu. Source, IMF. So once we get just about maybe 10 followers, fake account, once I publish it, a Ronu influencer with 100,000 500,000 followers, 1 million followers. We now share it and say, oh my God, is this real? Like pretend to be shocked. Oh my God, man, people will not say anything about this one now. They always love to celebrate bad news about Nigeria. They won't celebrate this one now. So everybody will begin to debate it. Some people will be copying and say, man, I don't know this one. No. They say the economy, the third fastest growing economy in the world. Everybody will be debating it. And before you know it, it don't enter WhatsApp. Once it enters WhatsApp, it's over. All this your auntie, your uncles, your mama, your papa on WhatsApp. For this. See, Ashimogu has done it again. Oh, Nigeria is now the third fastest growing economy in the world. We told you. This is Ashimogu. They forward it. Say, forward it. And they'll begin to forward it to everybody. I say, hey, I knew it. I knew. Have you seen this? It says the fastest growing economy in the world with a 3,500 megawatt of electricity. 220 million population. The capital of the capital of the unemployed people in the world. Jobless people's capital of the world. Poverty capital of the world. But the third fastest growing economy in the world. There is nothing like that on IMF. There's nothing called test brain. There's nothing called trade brains. Nothing. It's all made up to further push their lies. And none of this is going to change your situation in that contraption. Lies won't change any of your situation. No. It won't. When you finish eating whatever lies you have cooked, you will come back and eat the truth. Do you understand? So after Delta, another place where you're going to be hearing noise soon is going to be Akwa Ibom. This guy is going to decamp to APC in the next few days. The second guy from PDP. There are already confirmed 5 PDP governors who are going to join Thiefnubu before the end of this year. And PDP only have just about 11 governors now. The 11th one is K-Leg, Fubara. In don't go beg Warri Wike, from what we have heard. Multiple sources have confirmed that Fubara don't go beg Warri Wike. That is now ready to do whatever they want him to do, including now to go to APC. So out of 12 governors, 1, Delta, is gone. Another one from Akwa Ibom is on his way. Then Fubara 2. Then another 2, making it 5 that are expected to go and join Thiefnubu. Boku 7 in the entire Nigeria for PDP in your 2027 charade. So that guy is called Umo. Umo from Akwa Ibom. You know? So that's where they all get rewarded. And as for the people they are governing, they are on their own. In Edo State last night, let me check the name of that community. Please pardon me. About 2 communities in Edo State last night. Yeah. The residents of these communities. We have, if I pronounce, I don't know if I pronounce this right, right? Or if I am pronouncing it, it's called Iyereku. It's called Iyereku community. Towards Odame, all in Edo State. Last night, had to hurriedly park wherever they could park and the trucks they could get, into the trucks they could get, and left their home. Why? They received a report that Fulani terrorist staff now camped at the outskirts of the communities, and very soon we're going to invade the communities, slaughter everybody. Edo State is in the southern part of Nigeria. The terrorists that are terrorizing them are from the Sahel, far away out of Nigeria. That's what we're told. And those are the terrorists we are rehabilitating. But for the citizens themselves, they're on their own.
Umeme apple. Hey brother. You see what the apple? Umeme apple. Umiaya. Woi moto are chayara efo gwabare now moto. Wow. Kibira ki TV kudame wela. Ana ri moto chubadena. Wow. Ah ya.
Everybody yona ela Irako is into this area. So Irako ero to warrior everywhere. Emitifira wagolore Odame and Nari Nabe. He said, "I this is anything Irako na Otobo." He mina Fulani, the Irako gi Odame la gi Irako. Pamotomalana. And if Bagbemoya or at equal as belly and a bit belly or as belly saying so if I yoko full women cake in the women or barry. Ari Econi Semala Gelumi, a destroyer, Idiala ya Agwell and Nature Tori, Ikikachiori, Ugijetu, Emina Agbedela be Utoitsa, Idikalo Tony Sema. So you look out Louis Ugwaniti be. So everybody yona ela Irako is into this area. So Irako ero to warrior everywhere. Emitifira wagolore Odame and Nari Nabe. He said, "I this is anything Irako na Otobo." He mina Fulani, the Irako gi Odame la gi Irako. Pamotomalana. And if Bagbemoya or at equal as belly and a bit belly or as belly saying so if I yoko full women cake in the women or barry. Ari Econi Semala Gelumi, a destroyer, Idiala ya Agwell and Nature Tori, Ikikachiori, Ugijetu, Emina Agbedela be Utoitsa, Idikalo Tony Sema. So you look out Louis Ugwaniti be. So ilana po egbe afunoriwo agwe so malere imali ngbe government le pa moko government le ka
The people are on their own. They are. So they have to run away from their homes because of the fear of the Fulani is coming to invade them. That's some people's reality, by the way. So just so you know that if you think you are going through something that is making you feel like the whole world is against you, remember there are some people who are packing their stuff out of their houses right now, running away to unknown places because they believe that those places will be safer than their homes. Like, you don't want to be in that situation, do you? Right. So when you have failed criminals who have refused, right, to use the supposed resources of the land for the people of the land. I saw a video, right? I saw a video, and I love that, though. I love it. I'll tell you what I saw. I saw a video of a young man who somehow managed to expand the Google Earth sort of like image, a Google map. It's not Google Map, it's like Google Earth. They are captured in Mopa Town, Edo area, all these places in Kogi State, where they found Baba airfield. And somebody already told us before that there are more than 50 private airfields located in the deep of the forests or the deep of the hills of different parts of Nigeria, where Nigeria has stolen mineral resources, illegally mined mineral resources are being ferried out of the country. Private airfields that are not listed, you know what I mean now, like not listed as, oh, officially you have this airfield, you have that, not. And the more these guys are making all this money, the more the insecurity will remain. It's not going to go anywhere. A system that pretends, or should I say a system that has become so overwhelmed because a lot of people have now concentrated so much on what they can get for themselves, not how to end this bloodbath. It's about your chance, so they don't appoint you. Congratulations, so about waiting you want to make, you make waiting you want to make deal before they change their mind. That's the situation people are in. In Enugu, the same thing. People are being chased out of their homes by no other than the Fulani terrorists. And it's almost like the people have become so powerless when the supposed the ruling class, the political class of that place, or their government in that place should have allowed the ESN that was set up purposely to go after these terrorists back then. That was the only reason why ESN was set up. But rather than allow them to function, the same Igbo governors ganged up, used every resource that they have, right, to go after every known member of the ESN that they could find. They criminalized it. They killed some of them. Others locked up with no charges, while the terrorists continue to advance and advance. This guy is a lawmaker, I heard. He met with the people of one of the Enugu communities. Somehow he's preaching self-defense in such a way, or in a way that I sort of fancy. You want to listen?
Our people, they connive with Fulani to perpetuate this criminality. They haven't done that because those who have been victims, those who have been kidnapped, they come out and they reveal what happened. And some of them, the masked, only put mask. Yeah, our local people in that midst. They don't mask. They speak their language and you hear it. So my brothers, go and tell your village. Any solution? Self-defense. You have a right to self-defense. We must rise to defend ourselves. Government has failed us. Government has failed us. I've moved several motions. I've moved a motion on insecurity in Usuwan. The last time people were killed in Nimbo, I came there physically. I came to commiserate with the families. I got to the Senate. I moved the motion. It was approved. The Senate Committee on Legislative Compliance followed it up. The IG of Police has that resolution. The Chief of Army Staff has that resolution. The Director of DSS has that resolution. Nothing has been done. Many state governments are not waiting for federal government any longer. Federal government security system, the police, the DSS, the civil defense, because the so-called Fulani people and herdsmen or bandits, they are not spirits. We can't be complaining every day. They will come and kill our people. Haba. So, Bikonu, on the buying, Oyela Roru, Jaguar, Umonanya, Jaguar, the village head, Jaguar Ikwe, or whoever.
Jegu are the head of vigilante. Only any village with vigilante. And a church and a buying. Right from the time I was a kid. Oh, we didn't change. Now I can bring bani mayas. Oh, when none on Otobo. Who am there? On a rural. Some people know that today. Ejile. No rule. That's how security has been maintained in the bank. So why are we running away now? Government too. Because our own PDP government in Enugu State is not prepared to secure us. It is not just because Peter Mba is from Kanu. Buruburu, Bonyesika, PDP government. He was there for 8 years. Did he secure us? No. So what are we talking about? The PDP government in Enugu State is not prepared to provide security for her citizens.
I don't hear him because Peter Mba, who is also on his way to APC, by the way, are you aware? Yeah, he's going to join the APC soon as well. Maybe he will go after Rumo, that Akwa Ibom guy. I don't know who is going to go first between Peter Mba and what's that his name again? Seamless Fubara. I don't know who is going to go first. Then the other guy from Plateau State as well is also going to join them. I don't have all the pictures, okay? Because I heard that some of them are not going to move. They are going to remain in PDP and they're going to insist that, you know what, Thiefnubu is, they should just let Thiefnubu be. So if anybody gets by any means trapped in the people destroying people for your 2027, they're just going to probably stay there to help and just set Thiefnubu, in my own opinion, and from what I have also gathered. It doesn't matter. I just want all of them to permutate, do all the permutation, all the schemes and all of that stuff. Maybe they do everything. Outplay themselves, outkill themselves and all of that until the implosion happens. Because it's just a matter of time. So there's no rush. So the whole thing is building up little by little. In Abia local government area, where the weakest name was removed from the building, an administrative building named after him, and replaced with another person during the time of the Fubara supporters and the Wike at the time. Now, the caretaker, the sole administrator has appointed caretaker chairman for local government areas. They were weakest men. Here is one, the first, I think the first 1 week in office achievement of this one. They've returned the name back up there. Have you seen it?
Wow, congratulations. The sole administrator brought back Chief Nyesom Ezebunwa Wike administrative block. The sole administrator just brought it back yesterday. This is the good news. Congratulations. Thank you so much, my boss, Honorable Barrister Dr. George Ariolo, JP, DSSROS, for finding it worthy to immortalize and recognize our leader, our grand patron, Chief Barrister Ezebunwa as administrative building. God bless you, sir. Congratulations to us. This is it. Wow.
Congratulations to us. So tomorrow, if anything turns again, then you get to see them on the street and everybody will be like singing and they follow you go wiki. You know what I mean? Anyway, I do have another 2 clips of abuse of power. One of them is of a tailor, or should I say a fashion designer whose shop got vandalized by a king, a supposed king, somewhere in Edo State. Then he cried out for help.
Yorùbá yìí bà ṣọ́ọ̀bù mi jẹ́ lélẹ́yìí. Ọba tó pera ẹ̀ lọ́ba olóràn wọn wá ṣọ́ọ̀bù mi o. Ó ní kó wá pa mí mọ́ ṣọ́ọ̀bù ni o. Mi mọ̀ nǹkan tí mo ṣe fún báyìí. Kí gbogbo ìjọba ẹjọ́ Ọlọ́run bá bẹ̀ ẹjọ́ ẹ gbà mí o. Gbogbo irinṣẹ́ mi báyìí mi rí mọ́ báyìí. Gbogbo máṣíìnì mẹ́rin tí mo ní wọ́n ti kó lọ báyìí náà ọmọ bá ti kó lọ. Ẹ̀rù bọ́ yìí bà ṣọ́ọ̀bù mi jẹ́ báyìí. Kíjọba jọ kán gbà mí o. Gbogbo iléeṣẹ́ mi lélẹ́yìí ibiṣẹ́ tí mo ti ń jẹun tí mo ti ń rówó tí mo ti fi ń jẹun tí mo fi ń mẹ́tẹ́ bọ́dì mi. Òun ni tọ́mà tó pera ẹ̀ lọ́ba. Òun lélẹ́yìí òun ló ní kán wá ká mi mọ́ ṣọ́ọ̀bù tán kó bọ́n wá tán kádà wá o. Àwọn ọmọọṣẹ́ mi lọ́jọ́ yẹn báyìí ti lọ́ọ́ lé gbogbo wọn síta tán náà wọ́n máa ṣá wọn lórí wọn máa ṣá wọn lọ́rùn. Èmi dẹ̀ lọ́n wá ṣọ́ọ̀bù wọn bá mi ni o. Bàbá gbogbo ṣọ́ọ̀bù mi jẹ́ báyìí wọn náà máa sun ṣọ́ọ̀bù mi wọn máa pa mí wọn máa jẹ́ ibi tí wọ́n bá mú mi o. Kíjọba jọ kán gbà mí dúró Ọlọ́run mi mọ̀ nǹkan tí mo ṣe fún tọ́mà o. Tó kọ́ ọmọ ẹyẹ wá bá mi o. Gbẹ́kẹ̀ stubborn òun ló lead wọn wá àti jí méjì apẹ̀rọ jẹun àti agbára scorpion òun ló lead wọn wá àti kòyó àti SOG ọmọ ẹyẹ àwọn náà kó bọ́n wá bá mi o. Ẹjọ́ ìjọba kíjọba jọ kán gbà mí báyìí o. Máṣíìnì mi tí mo fi ń jẹun tí mo fi ń ṣiṣẹ́ báyìí wọ́n ti kó gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ báyìí o. Orí máṣíìnì ẹsẹ̀ máṣíìnì kan ni mo rí báyìí o. Gbà tí mo dé ṣọ́ọ̀bù lé ní Monday báyìí pé kí wọ́n á ṣiṣẹ́ o. Mi ì rí gbogbo báyìí bọ́ ibà gbogbo ṣọ́ọ̀bù mi jẹ́ o. Kíjọba jọ ẹjọ́ tó Ọlọ́run ẹ gbà mí o. Máṣíìnì kọ̀ọ̀kan sí ọmọ ibi àbí 200 ló ń tà sí o. So máṣíìnì tó dẹ̀ wọ́ ti bí àbí 300,000 wà ń bẹ̀ o. So kíjọba jọ kán gbà mí ìbò náà ti fẹ́ kí n tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ báyìí o.
So they have, I mean, you know, a king somewhere in Ogun State, okay? So there's this, they had, from the report, they had a problem, okay? But they didn't even have a problem. I think they are fighting over land. So a particular guy who claimed to be a king decided to send thugs to go after this guy who was considered to be, you know, a loudmouth, like is the one who could like speak and all of that. So to teach him a lesson, they went to his shop, vandalized everything, and then they took all his sewing machines away. So that was him asking that people, he was naming the names of the court boys they sent to come and deal with him and all that. Impunity. Dog eats dog. Here is another one.
Yes. Lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí ilé-ẹjọ́ ti gbé ìjọ́sẹ̀ lé gbogbo bẹ̀yẹn ni wọ́n tún gbé caterpillar wọ́n bá ìgbé kẹ́tọ́ wọn mọ̀ fine again. Wọ́n ní ká sanwó ilé wọn san, wọ́n ní ká sanwó ID card, we paid everything. Wọ́n dẹ̀ tún gbé bulldozer wá pé ká tó lọ́ mọ̀ fà the same place tí gbogbo yẹn sanwó lé lórí.
All those people, they are landowners. And the person that is dealing with them, they are landowners in Ondo State to start with. So the person that is dealing with them is called something Shotiri. He's a special advisor to Thiefnubu on something I don't know, but he's a special advisor to Thiefnubu. So he's the one who decided that he needed the land, the area. So the area he's interested in the area. So that the lands are owned by people who are still alive to, like, they're not giving up their land. But the special advisor to president, he said, oh man, Osahek, what is Osahek? Ondo State, something education, whatever, I don't know. Impunity. A system of impunity. A place where when people encounter less greedy people who chooses to do what is right when they are given political appointment that way, in shock, a lot of people will just be like, oh, you are a God sent. Because this is a place where if you want anything, you can take it. Especially if you have a political appointment, you can take it. Even if the owner is alive. not selling or not parting, you can take it. People can cry, people can scream and all of that stuff. You will still take it. There will be no consequences. And that's Nigeria. That is what makes Nigeria Nigeria. Well, Daro, thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And should I say, okay, I should do that tomorrow. I'll welcome you to the new month tomorrow. And from tomorrow, right? We can always go back to what we used to be. Spend some time, take some calls, have a blast every night, right? I will see you again. Until then, please don't leave without liking the broadcast. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun Diary politico. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń gba rìbá. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.